A poor student sat in the wrong seat on a flight. 7 days later, she was shocked to discover who the man beside her really was. The engines roared to life, shaking the cabin with a force that mirrored the turbulence in Sophia's own life. Strapped into seat 7C, she gripped the armrest, her heartbeat sensing with the trembling aircraft. This flight was supposed to be her escape, a brief respite from endless bills, double shifts, and a future that felt out of reach. Her backpack, frayed at the seams, sat on her lap, a quiet testament to everything she had fought for. She exhaled slowly, willing herself to relax. 7 days away from the chaos, a chance to breathe, maybe even dream. A sharply dressed man beside her barely acknowledged her presence. He radiated a quiet authority, the kind that made people straighten their backs without realizing. His wristwatch gleamed under the dim cabin lights, expensive and out of place in the cramped economy seat. She shifted uncomfortably, glancing at her boarding pass again. Seat 17C, her stomach twisted. She was in the wrong seat. The man did not correct her. He did not even react. Instead, his gaze lingered on her for a fraction too long before returning to his tablet. There was no irritation, no amusement, just observation. Turbulence rattled the cabin, jolting Sophia against her seatbelt. The flight attendants moved quickly, securing carts, checking seatbelts. One stopped abruptly, her eyes widening as she stared at the man beside her. "Sir, you belong in first class." Her voice wavered slightly, controlled but uneasy. The man's lips curved just enough to form something between a smirk and a secret. "I am exactly where I need to be." Sophia swallowed hard. There was something unsettling in the way he said it, as if he knew something she did not. As if this moment, this mistake, was not a mistake at all. Just before landing, he reached into his pocket and slid something across the tray table toward her, a folded piece of paper. She hesitated before picking it up, her fingers trembling slightly. The moment she unfolded it, her breath caught. "You should have never sat here. But now, you are part of something bigger." Her head snapped up to meet his gaze, but the seat beside her was empty. The plane was still in the air, the seatbelt light was on, but he was gone. 7 days later, the world she thought she knew would shatter. The truth waiting for her was more than shocking, it was terrifying. Juggling classes, late-night shifts, and endless debt, Sophia's life was a constant race against time. She barely managed to scrape by, balancing school and multiple jobs just to afford tuition. Every dollar counted, every decision was weighed against survival. A last-minute opportunity arose, an overseas competition that could open doors. But with no financial safety net, the risk felt overwhelming. It was a chance to escape, to prove herself, but also a reminder of how fragile her dreams were. When a sponsor covered her travel, she dared to believe in second chances. Yet, hidden conditions always accompany unexpected generosity. She wondered, why her? What did they see in a struggling student with nothing to offer? Her suitcase was small, her doubts heavy. She boarded the plane carrying more than luggage. She carried desperation, ambition, and the unspoken fear of failure. The flight and wrong seat incident. The airport buzzed with impatience. Sophia, lost in exhaustion, barely noticed her mistake. Seat 7C instead of 17C, a mix-up too small to matter, or so she thought. The man beside her sat in silence, a man too composed for a crowded flight, too polished for economy class. His presence sent a quiet, inexplicable chill. Sophia expected a casual nod, a distracted look. Instead, he studied her, his expression unreadable, as if waiting for something to unfold. Other passengers ignored him, yet the flight attendants glanced his way, exchanging uneasy glances. The air between them thickened with unspoken tension. His question was casual, "What brings you here?" But his tone carried the weight of someone who already knew the answer. Each question dug deeper, her family, her struggles, her dreams. It was not just small talk. It was as if he was gathering puzzle pieces of her life. Sophia shifted in her seat. Why did this man know exactly which wounds to press? His interest felt more like an evaluation than curiosity. When the attendant reached their row, her voice faltered. "Sir, you should be in first class." A harmless correction, yet her eyes flickered with something close to fear. The man tilted his head, offering the smallest smirk. "I am exactly where I need to be," a response that felt more like a statement than reassurance. As the plane descended, he slipped a folded note into her hands, deliberate, precise, and without a single word of explanation. Safia's fingers trembled as she unfolded the paper. "You should have never sat here, but now you are part of something bigger." She turned to demand answers, but the seat was empty. No sign of him, as if he was never there at all. 7 days later, she would finally understand what he meant, and nothing would ever be the same again. Safia unfolds the note, her fingers trembling slightly. Just a few words, but they carry a weight she cannot shake. No name, no explanation, just a warning. "You should have never sat here, but now you are part of something bigger." The message lingers in her mind, refusing to settle. She searches for answers. Who was the man beside her? A name, an identity, anything to explain his presence. Yet he leaves no trace, no online records, no photos, nothing. It is as if he was never there, but she knows that is impossible. He was real. The note in her hand proves it. A notification lights up her phone. She glances down and freezes. Her bank account, which had been running on empty just hours ago, now holds $10,000. No sender, no transaction history. Just a balance she knows should not exist. A gift? A mistake? Or something far more dangerous? Before she can process, another message appears. An invitation, exclusive, a light, a world far beyond her own. She has no business being there, yet someone clearly wants her to attend. The name of the sender remains hidden. Then her phone buzzes again. This time, it is a text. No introduction, no explanation. Just 2 words. "We need to meet." It is signed simply, Al. Doubt babbles curiosity. She should ignore it. She should walk away. But something tells her this is not over. A grand entrance looms ahead, guarded by men in dark suits. The event is a world apart from anything she has ever known. Luxury, power, control. It is all here. And somehow, she has been allowed inside. She moves through the space, eyes trailing her, whispers follow. Faces she does not recognize seem to recognize her. Unease creeps in. Why did they know her name? And then she sees him. In the center of it all, composed, commanding, untouchable. The man from the plane. The same sharp gaze, the same unreadable expression. People speak his name in hushed tones, but no one dares approach. Finally, someone leans in, voice low. Leonard Hale. Her stomach tightens. The name carries weight. More than just wealth, more than just influence. He is a presence that bends the world around him. A name spoken with equal parts admiration and fear. Then he turns. His eyes meet hers, steady and knowing. He does not look surprised to see her. He does not look curious. He looks expectant. She takes a step back. Every instinct tells her she has made a mistake, but Leonard simply smirks, tilting his head. "You think this was an accident?" His voice is calm, composed, as if they have known each other far longer than she realizes. "You were never meant to be anywhere else." Her breath catches. He knew. The ticket, the seat, none of it was chance. He planned this. Every step of the way, she had been walking into his design. And now there was no turning back. Leonard had been watching from the beginning. Not from that flight, not from that moment, but much earlier. Safia was not a coincidence. She was a selection. He had sought someone just like her, sharp enough to question, desperate enough to listen, and ambitious enough to step beyond the lines most would never dare cross. He speaks without hesitation. "You sat in the wrong seat, Safia, but not by mistake. You were meant to find me, and now you have a choice." She doesn't respond immediately. The weight of his words presses against her chest. He leans forward, eyes gleaming with quiet certainty. "Imagine a life where money is never a problem, a world where doors open before you even knock. Power without struggle, access without limits." His voice is calm, persuasive, too effortless, too knowing. "Of course, nothing in life is free, but what I offer, it is close." Safia swallows hard. "What's the catch?" Leonard smiles. A price exists, yes, but not one you'll see coming. Not one you'll even notice. That's the beauty of real wealth. The cost is hidden. You won't feel it until it's too late to turn back. Something cold flickers through her spine. He makes it sound so easy, and that terrifies her. A single piece of paper slides across the table, thick, crisp, pristine. A contract. A deal? No, something else. Something more dangerous. Leonard watches as she hesitates. I see that doubt in your eyes. You wonder if it's too good to be true. And yet, is it any worse than what you have now? Sophia exhales. You don't even know me. I know more than you think. I know the fear you wake up with, the exhaustion that never leaves. I know how the world chews up people like you. I am giving you a way out. Her breath catches. And if I say no? Leonard's gaze never wavers. Then you go back to what you were, small, invisible, waiting for the next stroke of bad luck. And I promise you, Sophia, there will be one. She forces herself to meet his eyes. And if I say yes? A pause, then a slow, deliberate smile. Then you wake up tomorrow in a world that bends to your presence. Sophia knows better than to trust easily. Yet, for the first time, doubt is not her enemy, it is her temptation. A single night in this world, no consequences, no obligations, just a glimpse. Leonard's voice is smooth. 1 week, live the life I offer. No rules, no commitments. At the end, you decide, stay or walk away. The words are simple, the implications are not. Power, wealth, an escape from a life she never wanted. But deep down, she already knows. No one walks away from something like this unchanged. A world of wealth opens before her, shimmering with possibility. Private jets, glittering penthouses, and whispered invitations to events where power moves unseen. She stands on the edge of a reality she never imagined. Yet, beneath the opulence, something lingers, an unspoken expectation. Leonard watches her closely. Enjoy it. This is what life can be when you stop fighting it. At first, it feels like freedom. Fine dining, expensive dresses, doors swinging open at the mere mention of her name. Yet, every indulgence is followed by a quiet favor. A signature here, a delivery there. Innocent, insignificant. But she notices how these requests always lead to something more. It's nothing, Leonard assures her. Just a small thing to prove you understand how this world works. She does not ask questions, but doubt tightens its grip. Then comes the real test, the moment that shatters the illusion. Leonard lays out his final offer. Simple, direct. There's a woman, someone just like you used to be. She doesn't belong here. She's in over her head, and we need to move her out of the way. All we'd have to do is say yes. Sophia's breath catches, the name, the details. A girl, desperate for a chance, stepping blindly into a trap, just like she did. Her own reflection stares back at her in this stranger's fate. This isn't about harming anyone, Leonard says, voice smooth. She'll get another opportunity, but if she stays, she threatens everything you've built. This is how the world works, Sophia. You rise or you get buried. Silence stretches between them, the weight of her answer already shifting the future. Then she speaks. No. Leonard does not react. He simply tilts his head, studying her, as if he knew all along this moment would come. You think you can walk away? His voice is calm, but there is no mistaking the shift beneath it. You already said yes to so much more than you realize. A folder lands in front of her. Contracts she signed without reading, financial records, surveillance footage of every step she took. A story carefully woven to make her look complicit. You have taken my money. You have played my game. Leonard leans forward. What do you think happens next? Panic coils in her chest. It was never a choice. Not from the beginning. The walls she thought were doors had already closed behind her. But she refuses to be caged. She has nothing. No wealth, no power, no safety net. But she has something Leonard never considered, truth. He built his empire on secrets, on shadows. And shadows cannot survive the light. She gathers what she can, the documents, the names, the whispers spoken when no one thought she was listening. It is not just about escaping. It is about burning everything he built to the ground. Leonard's voice is quiet when he speaks again. Think very carefully before you do this. But she already has. The fall is swift. Headlines explode. Authorities move. His name, once untouchable, becomes a stain no one wants near. And when he disappears, no one dares to ask where he went. Safia walks away with nothing. No riches, no power, no safety. But for the first time in her life, she is free. A letter arrives, a plane ticket, a single line written in the same careful script that changed her life before. You played the game well. The next move is yours. Was she ever truly free? Or was this just another beginning? Safia walks away from a life few could imagine, but with a freedom most would never choose. The weight of wealth, control, and deception no longer suffocates her. Every step forward is uncertain, but for the first time, they are truly her own. The air feels different, lighter. She is no longer playing someone else's game. Memories linger. The past does not dissolve so easily. The whispers of luxury, the allure of a world where power determines fate, they do not disappear. But Safia refuses to be haunted. Her scars are not wounds, they are lessons. The darkness she escaped from will not define her. Instead, she will use it as fuel to protect others from falling into the same abyss. There are people who need a way out, who need someone to show them that power is not invincible. Safia refuses to let silence win. She builds something bigger than herself, a foundation, a lifeline for those trapped in the grip of manipulation. No wealth, no contracts, no power-hungry men will dictate her path. This time, she is the one pulling people to safety. The war is not over, but she is no longer afraid. She has seen the strings that control people's lives. She has watched the price of submission, of silence, of fear. But she will not be another casualty. She will fight, not with money, not with deception, but with truth, resilience, and knowledge. This time, she plays by her own rules. Then, one night, an envelope arrives. No return address, no warning, just a silent reminder that the past is not finished with her. Her hands tremble as she picks it up, already knowing who it is from. Inside, a single plane ticket, a destination she never planned, a door she thought she had closed, a message written in the same effortless precision she remembers too well. You played the game well. The next move is yours. Her chest tightens. There is no threat, no demand, just acknowledgement. Leonard is not chasing her. He is not forcing her back. Instead, he recognizes what she has become. She was not his mistake. She was his creation. The ticket sits in her palm, heavier than it should be. Was she ever truly free? Or was this another move in a plan she never saw? A script she never realized she was part of. Safia closes her eyes, inhaling deeply. Whatever she chooses next, this time, it will not be because someone else decided for her. The next choice is hers alone. Safia faced a choice that most of us will never have to make. A life of comfort and power at the cost of her conscience, or the unknown path of struggle, but with her soul intact. If you were in her place, what would you have done? Would you have accepted Leonard's offer, or would you have risked everything to break free? Decisions like these define us. They reveal who we truly are. But here is the real question. Do we ever really have a choice? Even after walking away, Safia wasn't truly free. The shadow of power lingered, a silent force shaping her path, whispering that wealth and control never truly let go. She had escaped, but had she won? Or was this yet another step in a game she never agreed to play? Is it possible to escape the pull of power and influence, or do those forces always find a way to bring us back? What do you believe? Does wealth control fate, or do we hold the power to shape our own destiny? Your thoughts matter. This is more than just a story. It is a reflection of the choices we make every day. What do you think about Safia's journey? Was she strong, or was she simply lucky? Could you have done the same? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss the real cost of ambition, power, and freedom. Stories like this one are rare, but they are important. They challenge us. They make us question the world around us. If this story gripped you, if it made you think, if it made you feel something, then stay with us. Subscribe for more gripping tales of resilience, betrayal, and redemption. Because sometimes the most unbelievable stories are the ones that actually happen and the ones that change us forever.